Hi traders, good morning. It's Cristo here. It's about 8:26 on Central Time. It's the markets, the equity markets are about ready to open in about 5 minutes here, 4 minutes. As you can see, we're sitting at about 1389. This is a daily chart. We had a little bit of gain overnight into the futures market, and the market looks like it's poised to open higher and probably break a little bit higher here. We have had some, we are reaching, before I move on to the euro dollar, we are reaching some resistance levels here, and they are coming into this 1398. So it's about 10 points here to the top side that the market can try to squeeze higher. And an important trend line to notice is the one that we're watching on the way down, and this is this level up here. So if the market manages to kind of squeeze up here, watch this levels above 1400 to be extremely important. Let's go and look at the euro dollar and see what happened overnight in there. We had some sort of a tape bomb in Asia last night, and you can notice that the market kind of sold off quite heavily into the announcement, and some comments made some European officials and about the money that's going to go to Greece, and who knows what else they said. But however, that just kind of spooked the markets a little bit, and obviously, like it's the usual with this kind of news, they're usually faded, and the market started moving up higher here again. I think you remember there was a previous move, I think, on the downgrade from France that happened, I think, probably over here, and the market faded and made a move higher. Now it was those comments from European officials that were faded and the market starts moving higher. So this is pretty much telling us that the market is probably overly short into the euro dollars, and any moves to the downside are being quickly bought and quickly faded as well. So just watch for the euro. We're still in very important resistance area right here. The market is struggling to move higher. We probably took a few stops above this 28-25 zone. I think the market went as high as about 28.33 this morning, and it looks like it might want to squeeze a little bit higher than that. And we're going to watch up here. If the market really wants to start moving, I think that the next level that's going to target, it's probably going to be somewhere around this trend line at about 29.30 zone, and that's something interesting to watch if they're able to do that. I don't think that's going to happen today, but if we look at the daily charts, we might be in something interesting for the rest of the week. I know there's holidays coming in here, and they're going to start tomorrow, and usually in Thanksgiving day and night you can get some silly moves when nobody's watching. Wink wink. So if you look at the daily charts, and if the market is able to kind of finish up the day with the formation like such, as you can see, we have two rejection candles from the lows here, 1 and 2, and the day is still early, so we might get a reversal here, but just keep an eye on this daily close. If the market is able to close like this, then that's a pretty good indication that this market wants to start moving higher. So keep an eye on the euro dollar developments for the rest of the day. We have opened a long position into the pound. I think we're a little bit late to the party here, but I'm still willing to take the chance. You're noticing that we have broken above this resistance zone, which was pretty strong. So now we should offer support on the way down at about 59.10. So we have opened this position at around 59.30 zone, and we're looking for this move to move a little bit higher. Let me just zoom out, and you'll see that we're reaching some resistance up here, but I'm actually targeting a little bit higher than this, probably around this neighborhood, which is about 59.70 zone, which is about 40 points higher. So we have had this nice rejection candle from the lows here, and this is indicative of more gains ahead, and we're just gotta be patient up here and see what's going on. If the market dips back below this 58.90 zone, then our longs should be in trouble. And if we look at the daily charts, and I've been mentioning this in the previous videos, you're noticing that the market respects this trend line still, so we have been rejected, and this move, even though it's just in the early stages, it could gain speed and start moving much higher here, based on the fact that we were rejected from this trend line again. So just watch the developments here. We seem to be having a bullish daily candle here, but like I said, the day it's early, so we gotta be patient and wait for the end of the day here, and see how the markets develop. Dollar yen made quite a big move overnight, and we have euro weakness all over the place. I've been mentioning about the euro yen trade before in previous video, and here is the broken trend line that happened. And as I said, these candles are very powerful signals, these double bars, and here we go, we broken above the resistance zone, and now we're breaking above this trend line. And now I just want to mention something. These trend lines are subjective, so especially on such a long time frame as a weekly chart, it's really easy. Get this out of the way. It's really easy for the trend lines to be misplaced, or there is many ways to draw them. So you can do it from the highs here, you can also do it from a little bit lower, but I think either way you draw it, it becomes pretty clear that the market is breaking above it. If we're touching these two highs here, we haven't broken above it yet, so I would still be really cautious in trading this to the top side. For right now, I would personally wait and for the market to come back here and give us a better entry opportunity, probably at about 103.30 zone, and maybe a little bit higher here, but I would not totally chase this move into this week, and I would wait to see, because I think that the dollar yen is a little bit overextended here, and I'm just going to take a look at the chart of the dollar yen and see how that looks. So you can notice that this hammer we've been talking about for a long time, it's still very well valid. The move higher came, and we're reaching some weekly resistance up here. You can notice that if you look at these three candles here, they were not able to close below this level, and I'm gonna put a trend line in there and see what that level is. So the level is 82.38. So you got to watch this on a weekly basis. I think the market is going to have some trouble fighting this level, and that's why I think it's not wise to chase any euro yen or any yen pairs to the top side at this moment. Gotta wait for some pullbacks in here for better entries. So other than that, just keep an eye on this dollar yen into these levels, right? All right. Nothing much going on in gold. I think it's just moving sideways. The Aussie dollar, it's having a little bit of a meltdown. It's basically in this consolidation range that's got nothing to do with the rest of the market. It's pretty much it's on a league of its own, not doing much. It's showing us some weakness. It's not really responding to the risk on field from the rest of the market. So the Aussie dollar is pretty much clustered around the 155 moving average out there. We still have this valid signal of this pin bar rejection from the low, this fake breakout below here, below 103.30. I think this 103.30 will offer support again. If this one goes, then there is a bigger chance of a bigger drop. So 103.30 could be still considered as a good entry for some longs here. But you got to look at some smaller time frames and see what's going on here. We might have a double bottom here. There's also some fibs that can be pulled up here to have some confluence zones. So you can notice that the 618 comes pretty close with this overall support zone that's in this neighborhood here. And the 618 is about 103.40. So I would wait for dips down into this level before considering any longs. Alright guys, I think that's all I've got for today. It looks like the euro is starting to sell off a little bit here on the 15-minute chart. You can see we might post a failure on the 1-hour chart. I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna pull this up here. So going to a 1-hour chart, and I'm gonna zoom out. You can notice how we're having this resistance zone that we just broken and stole the stops above, and it is usually the case with these breakouts. First the market breaks out and then moves back to scare a lot of the breakout traders, so we can get a pullback here and probably create like a right shoulder into the pair, just like it happened back here. So watch for this 27.85 area to be supported here and for some fresh longs to start being initiated. Alright guys, so have a great day out there, and I'll see you later on in the day, probably for the daily wrap up. Alright, otherwise I'll see you on Twitter. Have a good day. Bye bye.